Today, I'm going to talk about something that a lot of people don't get into when they're talking about up leveling their lives. And that is the hardest part of making those changes. It's something that we so often don't think about. And when we do think about it, it's usually when we're in the middle or in the thick of it. And then it causes us to back away from the changes that we've been wanting to make in life. Who am I? Why am I talking about this? I am Angela W. Stillwell, CEO of Untapped Strengths, and I help individuals just like you transform into the top 1% leaders. And I work with teams to transform them into powerhouses. And this whole thing of transformation and up leveling and becoming a better version or a different version or whatever, people always talk about the upside of it, the positive pieces of it, what your life is going to look like once you make the changes, right? And have you ever heard the phrase, your mess is your message? Have you ever heard that phrase, your message is your message? Yeah, well, it can be. It can be. And this other piece that I'm talking about today has to be addressed first. All right, so what am I talking about? Here's the thing. When your mess becomes your message, what happens is that the people who have been a part of your life throughout your life at different stages, maybe it's your work life, maybe it's your personal life, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's the rest of your family, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your next door neighbors, maybe it's the people you hang out with on Friday evening or after work or at the gym or whatever. The people that are in your life before you decide to make the change often are not going to appreciate the very changes that you will be making or are making. Have any of you ever experienced that before? Maybe your significant other, you're making changes, you're reading these books, you're taking these courses, maybe you're going to these events, and you feel the change happening within you. And then you get home or you close the book and you start trying to have a conversation about the change, and there is no one wanting to receive it. You guys, I've had this happen so many times, and it's the hardest part of making changes. Yes, making changes is not easy. That's not easy for a whole host of reasons. Starting with what happens in your brain when you're making changes. Remember, I've said this a bajillion times if I've said it once. Your brain is there to keep you safe. And what that means is keep you in the familiar, because anything outside of the familiar is deemed unsafe by your brain. Okay. So even if the change is for the positive, your brain is the first thing that you get to fight against. You get to bring to the consciousness whatever it is that you're saying to yourself around your brain saying, well, I mean, like, who are you to make that change? Who are you to speak up and say XYZ? Who are you to, whatever it is for you? I mean, my voice can be really ugly. My internal voice can be super ugly. And most of us have that. Most of us have this inner chatter that is not the friendliest of inner chatter. Okay. So we get used to that, or maybe we do the work on that. And there are things that you can do for that part, right? And that is huge. That's huge. You get to do the work on yourself before you make the external changes. You get to work on the internal changes before you make the external changes. In fact, the internal part is absolutely key. All right. That's absolutely key for long lasting results. I don't care if you're trying to lose weight. I don't care if you are up leveling in your career. I don't care if you are learning to be a speaker. I don't care what it is. The first step is going to be that inner game, that you get to win. Okay. That you get to overcome. And then once you do that, the people around you are going to push back. They're going to question you. Well, is that such a good idea? I mean, do you really need to? I mean, you guys, I can remember way back when, and I didn't realize that it was part of this. I didn't realize how significant it was when it originally, the first time that I can remember it happening was when I was starting college, or maybe I was into my second or third quarter of college. And I had, it was my dad who said, well, I mean, what if you just wait and you go later? Like, why do you have to go right now? Is college something that you even need to do? Now, I'm going to tell you, if somebody tells me now that they're questioning going to college, I would go, yeah, question it a lot, because I'm not sure that everybody needs it. I'm 100% sure that not everyone needs it. However, back then, that was the way that I was going to be able to change my life and not relive the life that I had grown up in. I grew up in an incredibly dysfunctional environment. Many of you have heard some of the stories. It was incredibly dysfunctional. And I knew in my heart of hearts that I didn't want to repeat that pattern. I didn't want to continue that legacy. So I felt like the only thing that I knew at the time to make that change was to go to college. And so I got a job. I went to school full time. I worked almost full time, and I finished in 4 years. The whole time that I was there, though, I had my dad saying, "Are you sure this is what you need to do?" One day he'd say he was proud, but then the next day he'd be questioning, "Is this really what you need to be doing?" And there's a whole lot of reasons why that was happening. I won't get into those. But there was a whole lot of reasons why he was, putting that out there. First of all, because it made him uncomfortable. It made him uncomfortable. Later in life, the same thing happened with my now ex-husband when I started doing some studies around some changes I wanted to make in my life, and they weren't comfortable for him. And he would question me on it. And here's the thing, if you don't have enough fortitude within yourself, and to have enough fortitude within yourself is almost impossible. I'm just telling you. Okay. If you don't have that, if you don't have the fortitude within yourself, if you don't have the community around you to support you as you are making these shifts in your life, you're going to fall back. You're going to fall back. You're going to stop going after the thing, whatever that thing is. If you don't have some level of support, you're going to stop. The thing of back to the question of your mess is your message. See, the people who are used to living in that mess with you are comfortable in that mess. They're happy with that mess. And when you start making the mess your message, and you start making shifts so that the mess can become your message, that shines a light on them. Shines a light on them, and it shines a light on their mess. And it shines a light on the decisions they're not making, the actions they're not taking, the results they're not getting. And now that you are stepping into making a different decision, taking different actions, and getting different results, it shows them that they're not. Okay. And that's an uncomfortable place for most people to be. Just is. That's reality. So I was driving back from Miami a couple of weeks ago, and I was listening to a book, and I don't even remember which book it was now. But there was a story about a guy who I think it was in 10x is better than 2x, and it was in the Audible version, not in the book itself, because in the Audible version, Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy have a conversation between chapters, and I highly recommend it. Anyway, So Dan Sullivan was talking about this guy who had been doing some landscape working for them and some interior design work for them. And he was a chain smoker. And he decided that he wanted to quit. And so he went to this place out in Arizona. I don't remember the name of it, and went through this 2-week thing so that he could quit smoking. And what he realized a couple of days in was that he was going to lose his friends. He's going to lose his friends because they had that thing in common, the smoking in common. They'd get together after work, they'd sit around, they'd have a party, they'd have cocktails together, and they all smoked. And he kept going for a while, but wouldn't smoke. And that made them uncomfortable because he wasn't smoking. And so they turned their back on him as he was turning his back on them. Not literally turning his back on them. However, he did have to choose. He had to choose, am I going to step away, or am I going to have them turn their back on me? Because what started happening was he wasn't being asked out to join them any longer because of the discomfort that it was bringing up for them. And I thought, such a great example of anytime you're making a big change in your life. Someone quits drinking and everyone around them is like, oh, come on, how'd you can have one more? Well, maybe they can have one more, or maybe they were an alcoholic and that's why they quit drinking. Right? So it's you get to build a community around you. You get to purposefully build a community around you. Anytime that you are wanting to make a major change in your life, or even little changes in your life, you still get to build a community around you. And that's one of the things that I've been thinking about over, gosh, I don't know, for quite some time. And while I was down in Miami, one of the things that I decided that I was going to do was build a community. And it's based on so many of the changes. I mean, I already have a community, right? I have a community. But this one is specific for the changes that are happening right now. There are so many people who are being laid off, or they have this fear of being laid off, and they're wanting to up level their skills so that they can either start a business of their own, start a side hustle of their own. Maybe they're wanting to up level in their career. Maybe they are wanting to improve their relationships, whatever that looks like, because of all of the changes that are happening in the world right now. There's so many changes that are happening in the world right now. And it's causing all of us to look at our lives, right? It's causing every single one of us to look at our lives and go, is this really where I want to be? Is this really how I want to be? Is this really the things I want to be doing? Is this how I want to live my life? Is this what I want my future to look like? And if the answer is no, then you have some changes to make. And if those changes that you're wanting to make are going to be successful, you get to have a community around you. And let me tell you something. You often have to build that community or pay to be a part of a community. Just like joining a gym, right? You're wanting to join a gym to change your body composition and to be around other people who are doing that. Well, guess what? Your brain has a gym, or gets to join a gym, right? It gets to join a mental gym. Your emotions get to have an emotional support membership, brain membership, emotional support membership, leadership membership. And that's the community that I'm putting together. So if this is something that you might be interested in, I'm going to be rolling it out over the next few weeks. If this is something that you'd be interested in, I'm going to have a founders group that I'm putting together, and I would love for you to be a part of it. I'm super excited about it. Right now, to work with me, the only way to work with me is to either do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, or do a VIP day, unless you happen to be in a corporation where I'm coming in and doing training. And each of those are premium value offers that not everybody is ready to step into. However, this community that I'm building, you guys, I'm so excited about it. I already have people that are going to be coming in and doing some guest speaking, and I've got some special things that I'm going to be doing. I'm just so excited about it. We're going to be getting together twice a month for Q&A, and there's going to be a video that's rolled out every month. It's not going to be so much that you are overwhelmed, though. This is to give you a place where you can have people who really lift you up, who really know what it's like to be making changes in your life and have the people around you questioning you. You guys, I recently, just very recently, had this happen. And, you know, it's someone that's been in my life for a really long time. And they were like, I can't keep up. And I have to step away. And I had to honor that. Because I know that I still have so much to accomplish on the face of this earth. I'm still breathing. I still have a lot to accomplish. And the way that my brain works, I see opportunity everywhere. And I see that for you. In fact, I was having a conversation with a coach. I don't know, this has been 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I guess. And I was talking about being an advocate for my family in different scenarios, and that I felt like I am an advocate for my clients' dreams and visions and goals. And I want to be that for you. I want to be the advocate and provide an advocacy for your dreams and goals and visions. And this community that I'm building is going to be just that. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can either put it in the comments that you're interested or send me a DM. That would be fantastic. And by the way, you can also right now go and take the Warrior Wisdom Quiz. You can go to warriorwisdomquiz.com, warriorwisdomquiz.com, and take the Warrior Wisdom Quiz and measure yourself and see, you know, how you're feeling about the different areas of your life. And at the end of that quiz, there is an opportunity to schedule a call with me. You can do that. Or you can go to the link tree that you can see on the screen here, Linktree, linktr.ee/AW Stillwell, linktr.ee/AW Stillwell. You'll find the Warrior Wisdom Quiz there, or you can just go directly and schedule a call with me. I can't wait to talk with you. I can't wait to see you. And I can't wait to tell you more about this community that I'm putting together, because it is super exciting. And I just know that this is something that so many people are needing right now, with everything that's going on in the world, all of the changes, and like I said, all of the layoffs, all of the fear, right? There's a lot of fear, and people are making decisions from fear. And let me tell you something, that's not healthy. That is absolutely not healthy. I was standing in line yesterday, and I was behind a couple, and I won't get into what they were making a decision about, but let me just tell you, it was absolutely based in fear. And I wanted to grab them by the shoulders and go, you don't have to do this. You don't have to make this decision this way. And yet so many people, that's what they're doing. Am I going to be able to make enough? Am I going to be able to, serve these people? Am I going to be able to, whatever it is, right? The fear of the economy, the fear of business, the fear of so many things is driving people right now. And inside this community that I'm building, we're going to be facing those fears head on. You're going to have a group of people around you that are lifting you up. You're going to have me advocating for your dreams, your visions, your goals. And you guys, this price point is going to be crazy. It's absolutely going to be crazy. But it's something that I feel like is needed right now. So if it's something that you're interested in, put it in the comments. Send me a DM if you'd like on any of the platforms. This is being shown on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And But if Instagram is your thing, you can find me there. In fact, all of the links to all of those are in the link tree that you can see on the screen. So I can't wait to hear from you, and I can't wait to share more about this community that I'm building. It's got a really cool name too. So I will see you all soon. Next Wednesday will be the next weekly live show, and I'll have more information. So be on the lookout for the posts and more live videos giving you more information about this. And I'll have a wait list sign up as well. I just don't have that yet. But if you put it in the comments that you would like more information, we'll get back with you and get you on that wait list. All right, you guys, I can't wait to see more of you, hear from you, and see you again live. Thanks so much for joining me today. And make sure that you are consciously, purposefully building the support community around you. And I hope to be a part of that. Thanks so much.